Welcome to the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It appears that we have like a little rain event that's going to be moving in this weekend. So now is the time to get all your rigs ready for the fall. It's so funny. I always get these guys that tell me they just don't have time, and then I'm like, what do you do when you have a tropical storm for a couple of days? You sit around and watch YouTube videos? I mean, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something. One thing during COVID is the quarantine portion of everything. Right now, everything's just a mess. So I've kind of put myself into a little bubble so I don't have to hear about a lot of stuff. For me, what I'm doing is right now I'm selecting what I want to watch and listen to. And that goes the same with Instagram and Facebook because it's just really bizarre. There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there right now, and I'm being very selective about what I watch, and I encourage you guys to do the same because what it can do is that it can kind of mess with you a little bit. So what I did during the COVID quarantine, number one, my business was shut down for a very long time. I had no income, nor did I get any government assistance. So I didn't get any unemployment or any of that stuff. So basically I had zero income. Zero. So yeah, it was very stressful. I did mope about it and cry about it a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't I had peaks and valleys emotionally with that. But I want to tell you what I did, okay, to fix that. And I started rigging baits, okay? I started making my baits better. I started making my own lures. And I have to say that if I didn't have that, if I didn't think about doing that, I would have been a mess. I literally, guys, would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking I needed to go fishing, but I couldn't go. So everybody thought that, oh man, you're going to be able to go fishing whenever you want and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my God, man. I had zero income coming in, okay? And when I did go fishing, I had to kind of stay on top of things, and it cost me a bunch of money. So I couldn't do it, honestly. And nor was I about to split money with people and do all that crap, because all that does is lead to drama, and I don't want anybody else in my business. And then what I found is that as I started creating lures and doing all this rigging, it took me to a different spot. So I'd wake up in the morning, yeah, it'd be nice and it'd be a nice day and you can go fishing. But what I found is that I had lure projects I needed to get done, and I had a long list of stuff I needed to get done. And so I needed to do that before I'd go fishing. So it just kind of took the pressure off me, and it changed my mindset. And it's kind of like being at home and not being able to go to the office, or the kids are not able to go to school. For me, I really enjoy taking clients fishing. And it's not so much about me going fishing. I mean, it's not. Honestly, it's about when you get so used to it, and I had a lot of good clients that were in town. I really wanted to take them that are on the books, and I couldn't take them. So it's similar to some kids learn better at home, and some kids need to school. It's the same for me, and some people want to go back to work. And they can't go back to work. So everybody's different is what I'm saying, and I'm different, and I didn't think I was going to be that way, but I am. I wanted to go back to work. Plus I needed to make some money. It's not like somebody was paying me. Well, I was not fishing. I needed to get out there. So Melinda's work was shut down. She wasn't working. So yeah, it was stressful. I was in the same boat as everybody else. So just because I live down here and I'm a boat captain doesn't mean I get to jump on my boat every day and go fishing. It's just not the way it works. If you think that's the way it is, then you're living in la la land, man. So la la land. It's not the way it works. And honestly, I didn't really want to go, like I said, because I felt guilty. So how did I keep myself busy? And I had a very long list of stuff, and one of them is a project that we're going to be talking about here very soon, that's pretty amazing. That's something that I've dreamed about doing since forever. And I can't believe it's going to be like coming out so that we did it. But I can't tell you guys what it is. It's going to develop over time, but it is going to be an awesome tool. So, but that's all I'm going to mention on that right now. So what did I do during quarantine? I learned how to rig baits and make lures. And that was something very therapeutic for me. I literally would wake up in the middle of the night and would not be able to sleep because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I lost 2 months worth of business, of income. Like I said, I didn't have any government assistance or any sort of help, okay? And I didn't like post all this stuff about drinking, or I don't drink. So I didn't party. I didn't do any of that stuff. So what I would do is I'd get up in the morning because I couldn't sleep, like I said, and I would rig baits start rigging baits from 3 o'clock in the morning until 2 to 3 in the afternoon, nonstop. And I did that every day, almost every day for 3 to 4 weeks. I'm not kidding you. And then if I had a day where I could go out and trial the lures, I would. So that's what I did. I worked at going through every one of my GPS positions, and I correlated them back to the months that I got the bites. I really did a lot of analytical work and kept my brain busy. Okay, I stayed off the social media crap. And Melinda, from time to time, she would get on me because sometimes I would hey, it's seemed like my brain wanted to gravitate towards what was happening out there. And she'd get on me, so you got to go, you got to walk away from it. So that's what I did. And out of that, I'm like, what's the word for it? I'm extremely happy that I did that. And I'm finding that the more I'm rigging and the more I'm trying to learn different techniques, it takes my mind away from stuff. And I don't need to be like on the social media sites as much. I don't need to do that. And I see a lot of guys, they're like glued to Instagram now. They're just glued to it. Number one, they're obsessed with what other guys are catching, which I don't really get. Honestly, I don't follow many people on Instagram, nor do I stalk other guys about what they're catching. So it's just I have a logbook. I know when their fish are going to be here. I predicted the big dolphin were going to be here this week. They showed up 2 weeks ago. So the logbook shows it. The patterns are there. They've been there for 3 years, and everybody's like, "Oh, where the dolphin at? They're all small." And I just hey, you got to learn how to do something else. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with it, guys. You got to keep your brains busy. So what I've done, too, to kind of help you guys is I created the courses for the guys that want to go to the next level. So I am always looking for seminars to go to and all that stuff. So to learn something new, I'm always looking. I always want to learn something new. So I created the courses for the guys that want to learn exactly what I'm doing and the rigs. So I just put one out there that can really help your mind, and that one is the bait strips. Bait strips, in my opinion, are the #1 Wahoo bait. Not bait, but lure. They're amazing. So I had posted some stuff on Instagram for the past year about them, and I found that what I was doing wasn't working very good. So I made some changes, and what I did, it works really well. But I'm not going to share it on Instagram because I just am not. So anyways, I have a course available now for what I'm doing and the rigs. I've got it's broken down into 3 parts. Part 1 is a single hook. Part 2 is my double hook rig. And part 3 is a bonus about skirts and what I'm doing with skirts. And that's where you're going to really learn something. So the biggest, the guys are messaging me about how do you rig them? I'm having trouble tearing them. So I show you guys how to do it in the video. So it's there. You can purchase the video through the Good Karma Sportfishing, on www.goodkarmafishingtackle.com. And I have a section there of courses. Now, I've been putting out a lot of courses lately because I'm building a catalog and I have some time due to the wind and weather. And like I said, I had to do a lot of rescheduling this week because of mini lobster season and the weather. And this weekend we have a tropical storm. I would say a rain event more so than a tropical. It's probably going to be a 1. So over the weekend, I'm going to be doing some more courses. And for the guys that purchased the Wahoo Slayer series, I'm working on my high-speed planer setup for you guys. That's going to be the next one in the Part 2 series. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I rig the high-speed planer and the modifications that I make to run it. So I do make modifications to it, okay? And I haven't shared the modification on, you guys have seen some videos with it, but it's not how I'm doing it. So I have a special setup for that, and I'll show you guys how I do it in the Part 2 of that video, along with a bonus in that one. So like I said, the Wahoo series is going to be a long series, and I'll be doing it. I'm going to try to get all these videos out, and course videos out here within the next month and a half before October hits. So yeah, that's a little bit about that. And like I said, the bait strip one is out right now. I just released that yesterday. Bait strips are awesome. So like I said, when you purchase a video, you get 15% off your bait strip purchase on their website. So just a little thank you guys for buying the video. And then not to mention you'll get all the little secrets about it and how I'm rigging them now. And it's awesome. So you get more out of the bait strip and the action with how I'm doing it. And anyway, so I'm not going to talk anymore about that. So as far as the fishing tip this week, so this one's a little different. And it has to do with barometric pressure, okay? We're going to be getting into storm season. And I was thinking about, like, storms and stuff, and I'm looking back on my logs. Guys, if you can play the game right, you're going to do very well with this. Now, I have the luxury of being down here, and usually there's an evacuation period and all that stuff, or, you know, everybody's gone, because everybody has to get their boats put away. But if you can play this game, you're going to be successful. So the past 2 to 3 years, I have caught some monster wahoo before these storms, okay? I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I'm going to share it with you. So the trick is that you have to play a hurricane like a cold front. The wind's going to clock around, and there might be a lull period, okay, where you're going to have a significant pressure drop. And what you need to do is, when you get on your favorite site, I use tidesforfishing.com as far as watching the barometric pressure right now. And what you need to do is there is on tidesforfishing.com, there's a barometric pressure reading, and it tells you what the pressure is going to do throughout the day. And it'll tell you when there's going to be a slight drop. And I think a lot of guys are like not learning how to read barometric pressure, and especially for like middle moon phases, you really need to watch your barometric pressure charts, and then you go back and look at those charts, you're going to see correlations and drops in pressure to bites. Okay, so you'll see in the Keys, you'll have a rise in pressure and a fall in pressure almost every day, but you don't know what time it's going to be. And there's historical barometric pressure charts that exist out there. Now, a lot of this might be fluff to you guys, but I do see a trend. You'll see the rise in pressure where they're going to bite, and then they'll lay off when it stabilizes, then you're going to see a fall in pressure. So that comes with like storms, okay? Storms, low pressure systems, significant drops in pressure get fish to eat. Both bottom fish, and especially if you're looking for that one big wahoo. So there was a storm like 2 years ago, September. I forget what the name of it was. I was going through my logbook, and at that time in September, everybody was gone. I was like, I'm going to get out there before the storm. And sure enough, when they're not supposed to be here, I caught a big wahoo on a crystal sea witch. So over a bait strip. So yeah, so you have to really kind of watch that and play the game. And if you can get your boats in and you get the water temperatures, and not the water temperature, not so much, but if you can find the blue water, you're going to get them. So you just have to play it. And you might get lucky, you might not, but it's well worth going. Okay, directly after a storm, I don't know. I get asked that a lot. It just depends. South Floridians tend to like, oh, there's going to be all these dolphin here. There're going to be all these dolphin here. I've seen both no, and I've seen both yes. So there was a question on my Facebook group this morning about it, and my answer to you guys is it just depends. So, and there was a lot of rain in Puerto Rico, so which means there's going to be kind of some flooding events, and there might be some debris here over the next, maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. But like I said, that stuff's got to fall in the water there. It's got to travel. It's not like it's traveling 50 miles an hour. So if you do the calculations on the Gulf Stream down there and where the current is, you can see how it's going to travel. So I have my best luck after a storm in depths of like 750 to 800 feet. And it's not necessarily on debris either. So there's going to be pushes of fish, and a lot of guys, oh, there's no debris. If you're running around looking for debris and you're not in a trolling mode, you may strike out. I've seen that with guys last year after that big storm in the Bahamas. They ran out there was no debris, and they didn't have any trolling baits. Or they had trolling baits, but they didn't have the right ones. They were eating ballyhoo. They were eating mini flyers. So what happened is that I get out there, and I'm by myself, and there were all these guys running around, and I hit a blue water edge. It got purple in about 800, and there were lots of dolphin pushing. Lots of nice big gaffers. I ended up getting a nice slammer that day. So, and he ate not on debris. He ate on most of the big dolphin I catch are not on debris. They're lone swimmers. They travel in pairs, like you guys all have heard. And that's how it works. So I was trolling cross current that day to the northeast, and I got smacked. And I got a nice one. I was by myself, and I got one, and I went out and I caught a couple other gaffers and called it a day because that's all I needed. But what I found is that these fish were not on debris. They were in the nice blue water, and they were swimming. So for all you debris hunters thinking there's going to be lots of debris, I've seen in both cases, yes and no. So we've had years with lots of debris with storms. It's a little early, but we'll probably see some with this one because they're saying there's a lot of flooding down in Puerto Rico. And when you get all that kind of stuff happening, then you're going to see some pushes of some hard pieces of wood and all that stuff and netting and stuff because there's a lot of commercial fishing down there. So down that way, I think, I don't know, but that's what I've heard. I don't know a lot about the netting process, but you see a lot of netting and stuff come through, and you're hoping for that because that's where there's going to be some nice dolphin. So I've seen years when the year that what happened was when Puerto Rico was shut down because of the storm down there, we had a lot more dolphin swim through. I'm telling you, a lot more big ones because there was not very much fishing pressure on those large fish down there. So a lot of you guys don't know this, but if you're following the dolphin tagging program, you'll know that a lot of our dolphin come from that area, and a lot of big fish travel from that zone. So they usually start to move out after a storm. So the storm seasons used to be a little earlier. We used to see more rain in May, and we don't see that as much as we used to see down in the Caribbean. So, but now they've started down there, so we're going to see some more. That's my theories. I follow a lot of tagging stuff. I've been following it for years. So the tagging studies, there's no secret about the dolphin migration anymore. The tagging studies show it. So my challenge to you guys is kind of like, here's my challenge. I want you to do a little bit more scientific research on dolphin fishing itself, okay? You got to try to learn to think like a scientist a little bit when it comes to a biologist and how fish move. And you're going to learn a lot more about them, so learn about the fish you want to target. Learn everything there is to know about them, okay? What colors, it's like color patterns, just learn. There's just a wealth of resources out there. So fisheries biology is just awesome. It's just like amazing just to study fish and how they swim and watch them. There's so much available out there. I challenge you guys to watch more videos of underwater fish. Watch those underwater dredge, all that underwater dredge fishing stuff. That stuff's amazing. Now, in the video I just released, for a course is the ballyhoo rigging one. Now, do you think those fish just come in on those dredges when they just rig a ballyhoo and throw it out there? You're wrong. There's some secrets to ballyhoo rigging those dredges and to get those get those fish to swim like that. If you want to like learn how to get an actual bite and get fish to come in on your bait, on your ballyhoo like that, then you need to buy that course I just put out. So it shows you the secret. It's hard to find on Instagram. You're not going to find it. It's hard to find on YouTube. So there's a secret to that, to getting those fish to come in on those ballyhoo like that. I learned this from a captain years ago when it's like, there's a special Wahoo rig that with dead bait that gets the Wahoo fired up. It's just like running a bait strip. There's that tail thump, and if you want to get like action on your ballyhoo, then you need to buy that course I just put out. It's super simple. So, but anyways, so I encourage you guys to watch more videos like that and learn how to fish come in on the bait, what they want, what colors they want. Watch the action of the dead bait. And watch less like fishing shows on YouTube. Like, I mean, some of the shows, people just want to watch, and I get it. I don't watch any. I only watch a couple, and one of them is, my top one I watch is, of course, Victor and Brooke on Landshark, because I enjoy watching them. They are very authentic, and they're really good fishermen, because I fished with them. So especially Brooke, she puts most guys to shame, honestly. So. But anyway, so my challenge to you guys is, over the next couple days when it's raining, is to do more studying on the fish species that you guys really want to target and learn about. Put away the YouTubes and the video games for a couple days. Watch some YouTube videos that you really like as far as the fishing goes, but watch more educational ones, as meaning that watch underwater videos of how fish swim. There's some really cool bait videos out there that I enjoy watching. I just like watching fish. It's kind of like having, and I'll put these videos up on my Mac, and I'll blow them up on my screen, and I'll just watch them as I'm like working. And I'll see a tail shake or something. I was like, that's interesting, because there's some great underwater videos out there of bait. And I found one on Vimeo, man. It's pretty badass. It shows all these different bait fish and stuff. And I'm really looking at the colors, and I'm watching underwater stuff, how I've seen divers and spear divers videos, and that's the type of stuff that you guys should watch, like flashers and how fish come in on flashers. Watching guys run teasers. Now, and speaking of teasers, in the Facebook group, I'm going to show guys my teaser that I run off my downrigger when I'm going marlin fishing. I have one specific teaser that has always worked for me in color, so I'm going to show you guys that, and I make my own. So that'll be in a video probably here in the next few days. You'll get a peek at that, or a picture. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you guys stay dry this weekend. Get the boats tied up the way you need them. It's not going to be anything significant. And use your time wisely at the dock, at home. Practice rigging. Go through your rods and reels. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you check out my website, www.goodkarmasportfishing.com. Also, my Instagram is goodkarmasportfishing_FL_keys. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.